Welcome to this weekend's barbecue. This weekend we're smoking up arguably some of the best bites in barbecue, pork belly burnt ends. Alright guys, I'm going to get right into this thing. What is pork belly? Pork belly, basically, if you were to take this and cure it over time, it's just going to turn to bacon. So it's just glazed, smoky bacon bites, if you want to boil it down to what it is. What we're going to do here is, normally I wouldn't have them pre-cut, but we used this in a little local barbecue competition, me and my buddy, which we took fourth in. This was a big hit. So we've had a lot of people ask, hey, can you show me how to do that? So it's the reason behind this video. But I want to put these gloves on here because I think we're going to give some to our neighbors once it's said and done. So you're thinking to yourself, why can't I be neighbors with that? Okay, so I'm going to take these out, and so you'll see why here in a second of why I don't like necessarily getting them pre-cut. Is normally I'll get a half slab or a quarter slab, and I'll cube them up into little 1-inch cubes. When you get them from the butcher shop already pre-cut like this, sometimes you always get just the fat, and it's just the smallest little 1/2-inch cube. So I normally don't even use those ones. I'm going to cycle through here real quick and pick out the ones that are just all fat. And then we'll kind of take some of the other ones real quick. And then the ones that are a little bit bigger, I'm just going to take them, I'm just going to cut them in half. In which, if your pork belly is a little bit frozen or right from the fridge, it makes it a little bit easier to cut. I think that'll just about do it. Okay. And you can see why I'm actually taking out a lot of those little bitty ones. These little bitty ones, if they're not bigger, like those little 1x1 cubes, it'll just burn up in your cook. So these will be done in probably 30 minutes, and then they'll be over crisp, because the whole cook itself would take about 2 hours. So if you don't have those bigger cubes, and they're all these tiny little ones, it'll just burn right up. Not a lot to it. Some guys will use a little mustard binder on this. I actually don't use a binder. I just go straight meat church, the gospel. I use this stuff on a lot of different things just because I love the color of it as it smokes. It'll turn like a nice, good dark red, and I just love that look on poultry and pork. So just go pretty liberal. This can take a lot of seasoning. It's always probably more than what you think. I realized I just took my gloves off, but we're going to toss these around. Don't worry, my hands are clean. Because you want to be able to get all sides fairly well. Make sure to season up high, alright? It'll make for a nice even application when you're seasoning. That kind of goes for everything. We're just going to go one more pass here, just a little bit quick one. Okay, so I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Okay, so when you smoke these things, what I would recommend, just so you're in and out of the smoker pretty quick, you're not letting all that heat kind of exit your smoker, trying to put every single individual little pork belly cube on there, is go out and buy you a wire rack. Please don't go to your mother-in-law or your wife and then take their cookie cooling rack and use it one time, and then they never let you hear it, you never live it down. So go get you a new one, make it just for smoking. And what I like to do, and once again, going back to not buying them pre-cut, I like to take these and put them fat side up, but sometimes if they're a little bit longer, they won't stand up too well as you put them on there. So on these ones, I'm just going to put them on there the best I can so they can all fit and try and fill this guy up. When we did this for, it's called the Egg Fest, I went and bought, we did 17 pounds of this stuff, and it was gone in about 30 minutes. And that's how popular this stuff was. And I realized not too many people kind of knew what pork belly burn-ins were. Being from Southwest Missouri, this area, everyone knows brisket and all your more popular meats, pulled pork, all that kind of stuff. But not too many people really knew what pork belly burn-ins were or ever had them. So when you're putting these on here, kind of give them a little bit of space in between. Don't put them together where they're touching. You want to make sure all that smoke is going to be able to kind of get on all sides of that stuff. They're all crammed together on there. You're kind of going to limit your ability to put smoke on there. That guy didn't make the cut. Either did that guy. So they'll cook on there. It's almost like a two-part process. We're going to cook them 275 for roughly an hour 45, 2 hours. I'm going to go out and check them, and then we're looking for like 195-ish until they're probe tender. So when you go out and check them, that thermopan should just go right in like smooth butter. And then we're going to pull them off there. We're going to throw a glaze on there. I'm going to show you how to make the glaze. And then we're going to put them back on for another 15, 30 minutes. It's kind of up to you how much you want to tack them up. So, okay, we're going to go put these on the smoker. We'll be right back. Okay, like I said, going in 275 for about an hour and a half or so, maybe an hour 45. We'll come out and check them. I put them in here. I like to put everything on my middle rack. I don't like to put them too close to the heat source, or I think it'll cook a little faster and kind of burn them up. So I'm just going to go right in on this middle rack. And then we're actually gonna spritz these about every 45 minutes or so, and I just have a little mixture of some apple cider vinegar and some water. I did it like a 50-50 mixture. And like I said, in about 45 minutes we'll come back out and we'll do a little spritz on this and just kind of see how they look. Okay, let's talk about what we're going to be glazing these after done on the smoker. So you can kind of go whatever route you want to go with, but I've made these a bunch of times, and I've kind of settled on some Meat Mitch's Whomp Sauce. Okay, there's also another Meat Mitch Naked. I think the Naked's a little bit spicier, and of course, I have a father too, and my daughter is a super sensitive tongue for spicy things. So this isn't too bad, but once I start adding this Texas pepper jelly, this rib candy, apple cherry habanero rib candy in, that's where you kind of start controlling your heat level. So if I'm making them for me, okay, I'm going to do this whole bottle of this barbecue sauce. And I'll just pour the whole thing in there. And then I'll kind of put down in the description my exact measurements here, or kind of what I'm going, or if you want to measure this out and be precise, what you kind of want to shoot for. So, and then for here, I kind of go about roughly a third of this bottle. Like I said, I've made this a bunch of times, and I kind of just eyeball this. So I just kind of start with a third-ish. And then just a little bit of honey. This will help thin it out. And then you just mix all that up till it's all incorporated in there. And then, like I said, when we pull it out, when we pull the pork belly off, we'll hit it with this glaze, and we'll kind of go from there. And of course, if you're ever unsure where your heat level is at, just grab you a spoon, taste it. It's about right. If you want to be really accurate, I guess you can always let your wife taste it, and she'll let you know if it's too spicy or not. Okay, it's been about an hour, and we're going to see what these things look like here. I'd say pretty good. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick little spritz. You don't have to hit them that much once you get your spritzer to work. Then probably about another 45 minutes or an hour, pull them off there. It's awesome. So once they're probe tender, which you just, not even looking at the number, you're just going to poke it in there. You should just fall right in, no resistance. That's how you know they're done. So if you're looking for a number, it's anywhere between 195 and 205, 202, something like that. But we're going to go and just pull these off. There are some heat resistance cover here. I'm not Superman. Okay, I'm just going to pull these guys off.
And here's the other ones. And you can see what happens, what I was talking about earlier, why you want to cut them yourself, is these little small pieces didn't really make it. They're actually burnt in. So, okay, so once you got them inside, I took all these little extra small ones that were super burnt. These ones might be okay. If you're my mom, you'd definitely like these crunchy, almost all the way burnt ones. But so we're just gonna put them here in this pan, this little foil pan. Just pull them off there. And you can see why I said to go buy your own pan, don't use your wife's cooling rack. Okay, as you can hear my film crew in the background. When you put this sauce in here, you don't want it sitting here floating an inch of sauce at the bottom of the pan. So basically what you're looking for, if you would just take one of them, if you just dunk them in the sauce, pull it back out, that's kind of the effect you're going for. But we're just gonna go a little bit at a time here. And then just throw them all together. And this next part, so we're gonna go back on the pit, same temperature, 275. Okay, and this next part's kind of long, as long as you want to go. If you want a little less saucy, go a little bit longer, probably like 30 minutes. If you want a little more saucy, go a little bit less, like 15. So I usually go somewhere in the middle between 15, 20, and that's usually about when I take them off here. So we're gonna go put them back on. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. Let's just see what the final product looks like. So once they're done, I just carried them in here. I just put them in this Yeti bowl to let them cool off. But so let's try it and see how we did. Let me get me a good piece. Tell you what, even if you mess up the cook on it, if you think you overdone it, whatever it is, it's going to be good regardless. It's just a good chunk of bacon covered in sauce. So, and actually, these took from start to finish. This took about an hour and 50 minutes. And I think that's just because, like I said in the beginning, normally when I make these, I cut them up in 1-inch by 1-inch cubes. So they'll take closer to 2.5 hours to cook. But since these ones were cut up by the butcher shop, pre-cut, like I said, they're a lot smaller, and I think they cooked a lot faster. But regardless, you're still going for the same temperature. You're looking for that 195 or that probe tender in that first part of that cook. Pull them off there, sauce them up, put them back on there for 15, 20 minutes, and then cook back up all the way, 205, 210, something like that, where they're a little bit more, melt in your mouth type stuff. So. But overall, this is a great appetizer style of something if you want to smoke something for the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas coming up. It's a good little set on the table and kind of let everyone pick at it as you go. So, and I guarantee they're not going to be bad if you make them. So, but no, you give them a try. Let us know how you did. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. And like always, don't forget to like and subscribe to all of our stuff. And we'll keep on putting some more stuff out.